talk a little bit about what do you call it? A little bit more about capitalism, successor, and I need to tell I made a mistake in the book. Well, but it was by divine. What do you call it? Divine. It was divine. What do you call it? Orchestration. So in the book, it's a character utility based economy, right? But because I was gonna change it, and I was like, just leave it because something's gonna happen in the future. I need to leave it. And the book is character based. So it's character based utility economy. But it's supposed to be character utility based economy. Hence cube, right? Cube, right? So August. So my mom died. What do you call it? August, right? 1997, right? She died, and so I have a friend named Bobby. All right, we still keep in touch. I know him since I was one, right? And he was like, man, sometimes like I thought say, oh, call this person. You haven't spoken to him in a long time, right? So I called him on the August 27th, 2024. And he was like, man, I just had a dream about your mom the other day. I was like, what? You did? He's like, yeah, I did. So I was like, that's not, I was like, that's no coincidence because it's been exactly 27 years, right? 27 stands for candlelight, right? And then I talked to you on August 27th. I was like, well, that's not. But anyway, so so he told me, right? I kept that back in my mind, right? 27 years. So what do you call it? 70 days later, right, is when I met the girl in the book who, yeah, the girl, right, in the book. Exactly 70 days later. And God was like, you need to speak to this girl. And told her I had to speak to her 5 times, right? Spoke to her 5 times. I think I told you on that day on the Destiny Scroll calendar, it was the day Noah's flood started, right, in the ancient past. So it was 70 days. So what does 70, if you think 70, anything about ancient history, what does 70 represent? The 70 nations of, that came after the flood, right? And, they call it like Babylon. 70 nations, Tower of Babel, Babylon. So, like I said, if I ain't talk to her, God, like, if you ain't speak to her those 5 times, I won't have to give you the idea for the book. Like, oh, don't humble me no more, Lord. So, got the idea. Actually, the idea came on March the 1st. So, keeping this 70 days, right? So, from the time I got the idea to the time I was able to publish the book, it was exactly another 70 days, right? And I uploaded it. What do you call it? I remember God saying, I need you to upload this book. I need to upload this book. And he was like, I need to upload a book within 24 hours of the Pope being elected. Why? Because it represents Babylon one more time. Babylon. What do you call it? Babylon. Talking about the economic system. Babylon economic system. So, Tower of Babel and then Babylon, right? So Cube, what it's going to help do is first going to help capitalism. Now, one way it can help capitalism, you know how you have a credit score, right? You have a credit score, and then you have like their fiscal policy. Cube can be set up similar, right? Or however they want to set it up, somewhat like a credit score, right? And it will make capitalism itself better, right? And like Martin Luther King, right? Martin Luther King, it will bring Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech, because he was critical of capitalism to a point. It will make capitalism better. And also Pope Leo the 13th, he talked about capital and labor, right? So Q will make capitalism a better economic system. But like I said, eventually there's going to be at least one country that's going to completely implement Cube as a complete economic system. Why? Just how like God chose Abraham out of the 70 nations, there has to be at least one economic system that has a complete, what do you call it, character, utility-based economy before Jesus comes back. It must be demonstrated into the world. Yeah. So getting back to my mom, right? And I know it's so my mom, right? When she appeared to my friend, my mom's name means harvest, right? My mom's name means harvest. So when she appeared during Virgo, like, oh, Virgo, it's part of the, thing about constellations, it's part of the harvest, right? It's the harvest constellation. And then when I met that girl, November, around the world, November is known as like harvest month. So these two things come together. I was like, oh, that's no coincidence. So yeah, like God's about to, I say God, I'm talking about Yeshua, Jesus created Adam. Therefore, he's God over the whole, he allows people to choose whatever the God they want. But if Jesus created Adam, that means he's God. Pretty logical. So, yeah. So in the future, you heard of the Dead Sea War scrolls, right? They're going to see that moment where I met that girl, right? And they're going to see from that moment, actually, things start in my life start to turn for the better, right? Certain things start to just get better, right? And they're going to see that because why? Because they're going to know about my story, like certain prophecies of myself, certain prophecies that I'm part of. I'm probably talk about it later. My mom prophesied about something, right? I might talk about that later because I'm also in the Bible. I pointed out one day in the Bible, I had to fulfill scripture. Chad, the chosen one. That's right. I'm not the only one, but I know where I am in the Bible, right? Like this is you. Nobody else can fulfill it except you, Chad. Chad. Well, yeah. Like now, if you forfeit it, I'll bring somebody. I'll raise somebody else up. But it's as long as you do what you're supposed to. You're this specific person in the Bible Like, I'll tell you guys one day in the scriptures. I'll point it out. You'll see it. So yeah, they're going to see me meet this girl, and in my life, they'll see how my life starts to turn around. And in the future, in the Dead Sea War scrolls, the Sons of Light, they're going to be losing the war. They're going to be losing. They're going to be losing, and then because they have the ability to, what do you call it, see in the past and in the future time, right? Like Project Looking Glass, like there are different factions that can see certain things that happened in the past and happen in the future. They're gonna see that moment when I met that girl, right, or that woman, right? And in the future, they're gonna take encouragement from that. It's not the only incident, but they're gonna take encouragement from that, and it's gonna help them to stay in the fight because they're gonna be losing against the sons of darkness. And they're gonna be like, "Hey, remember the Bible? Certain stories like Hezekiah, certain things like what do you call it? Abraham, fathers of the faith." And like I said, they're also going to remember, and they're going to see it because they're able to. They have some type of device, right? Like, yeah, remember Chad when he met that when he was feeling grumpy, he's like, I was sitting in the back, and then he met that girl. And he had to talk to her 5 times, and that helped bring a new economic system. Was the birth of a new economic system. Yeah, it's gonna help them stay in the fight. Sons of Light, check it out. Now, I don't know if the Sons of Light are the same as 144,000. I don't know all that. I don't know, but yeah, that's what God pointed out to me. And the other thing God want me to talk about is the day. So Nixon came off the gold standard August 15th, 1971. So the day that he came off the gold standard was the day that their fate, we call it the economic system, their fate was sealed. Why? Because as soon as they did that, they knew that, what do you call it? Well, God pointed out, as soon as they came off the gold standard and wasn't tied to gold anymore, it was just artificial, right? It was just an idea now, and the economy can still run just upon an idea, right? And also based upon the, what we call it, military might of America, right? Just the idea, economics. Capitalism's successor was a viable option. So basically, if you want, well, in time, you can just switch one economic idea out for other because it's just an idea, what do you call it? Capitalism, especially like right now, is based upon artificial value. Artificial value. It's monopoly money. And we buy into it because actually part of it is spiritual. The spiritual component that most people don't know, except the architects of the world. They know about the spiritual aspects of the economic system. They know about it. So yeah, once they took it off the gold standard, Capitalism's successor is a viable, what we call a viable economic system that can replace it. The artificial money system. And he pointed something out to me. He was like, it was exactly from the time that he gave me the idea, it was exactly 53 years, 6 months, and 15 days. So what does 53 represent? Isaiah 53, God's atonement, or Jesus' atonement, basically, right? 53. And then 6, what does that stand for? Man, or 180 return on the clock. 6, 12, and 6, or 9 and 3, basically like a 180 return, like repent, go back the other way. Because also 6 represents man, the first Adam, man, right? And then 15 represents grace, like grace, 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 like Noah. And when the flood happened, this is in all societies, right? There was a flood story, came 15 cubits above the highest mountain. And basically that's, in the long run, that's what Cube or Capitalism Successor is going to do. It's going to wash away or wipe out the economic systems of this world, because connected to the rock, Daniel 2, 44, 45, can't be stopped. And I'm Chad. yeah. So, yeah. So, the Thunder Lights are going to, that's the reason why I didn't change. I was about to change it. He's like, Chad, leave it. Thunder Light have a device. Probably can, like, this is some Matrix resurrection type of stuff. People spying on me. Probably looking right now. Seriously. But yeah, the Sons of Light are going to see this moment or see that. Well, actually, it's probably like this whole year, right? See me when I met the girl. See me when I uploaded the book. Seeing, when the Pope got reelected. Babylon. Well, I'm talking about what we call it, the Babylonian system, right? And it's gonna help them stay in the fight. They're like, oh, it's gonna help them stay in the fight. So that's the reason why the discrepancies in the book, because the Sons of Light are gonna see this moment, well, this year, and those moments. So yeah, just need to explain that. And yeah, my mom's name actually means harvest. Yeah, there's more, but I just want me to point that out to y'all. All right. I need to explain that.